My name's Cody Ham. My major is mathematics education, and I go to Wilkes Community College.
What does it mean to be Appalachian?
I guess what it means to be Appalachian is to be like hospitable, like friendly, open going, just be friends with everyone. And I guess where I'm from, it's a lot of family too, if that makes any sense, just general overall kindness.
When you think of the words Appalachian music, what do you think makes it up? The genre or the people? Like some examples of this would be, do you think like if a opera singer were to make a song in the Appalachian region, would it still be considered Appalachian music, or would it not be considered Appalachian music?
I honestly don't think it would. I mean, well, it kind of depends. It can have an Appalachian tone, like, say, it's about a Appalachian themes, like family or something like that. But I don't believe it would be because it also, you know how rock has like electric guitar and drums and stuff? Well, Appalachian music to me is like fiddle, banjo, guitar, mandolin, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it has Appalachian values.
Do you have a favorite Appalachian song?
Dooley by the listen to a lot of Appalachian style music like Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver and stuff like that, like gospel and I guess bluegrass and stuff, Appalachian style.
How is the Appalachian heritage celebrated at your hometown?
It's sort of passed down from parent to child. Like I learned how to play the banjo from an old time banjo player when I was about 5, and you just learn it from people like dad learned it from someone he went to church with, and it's just sort of passed down. Like I don't know, it's just the style and the way it is passed down from person to person. It's like a community. One person does it and then teaches the others.
What got you into Appalachian music?
Sure, I've always liked music, tried to play guitar. I wasn't raised on mountain music per se. It's a slower, simpler style of music, but a lot of it was recreation, where people would sing the same songs over and over, and people would want to learn the verses and participate, and then learn the culture, maybe the stories of faraway places. It was so isolated in the mountains, there really wasn't much else to do besides work that had to be done.
How does Appalachian music kind of influence your day-to-day life?
The dulcimer is a very simple instrument. It is easy to accompany a simple ballad, or maybe before they had instruments, it was just an a cappella song or just sang from memory. But to be able to dramatize or harmonize with the traditional story songs was just an amazing thing, and it's really easy to do on a dulcimer.
How does this type of music tie into your heritage?
I was raised in a very, very simple background, very large family. We didn't have music in our home. I think that was when I was first exposed to being able to play a guitar or watching other people actually sing and play and listen to the songs on the radio. I was ready to try to do that.
Do you consider music and history to tie in together and to relate to each other?
You know, people talk about country music because that's just stories about everyday things that happen, people's relationships and places to go and things to do, and you know, the things that people care about. That's people music. Mountain music, again, was pretty much trying to make life better and to make life happier. It really was a very, very hard existence in the extreme rural mountains of Appalachia.
what is your favorite part about Appalachian music?
The simplicity, I guess. You could take just the simplest song. It could be about a dog. It could be about eating or not having enough to eat, or hunting. It could be the simplest thing, and they can make up verses and verses, especially stories and love's gone wrong. Last night I slept in a big feather bed between my wife and baby. Tonight I'll sleep on a cold, cold ground in the arms of Blackjack Davy. Arms of Blackjack Davy. Very popular mountain song. So here's the horse galloping away. See how that would add a lot of excitement to a story song.
We're here with Pastor Tim. Okay, so we just want to ask you a few questions about Appalachian music. Okay, so the first question is, what does Appalachian music mean to you?
The music that comes from Appalachia is music that comes from a deep place. Usually it's born out of experience. People that perform it do so as a result of what they've been through, the songs they sing, the songs they play. It was just very much a record of who they are, where they've come from, what they've been through. You can take the same song, and when people in the mountains do it, it's just totally different. That it comes from the gut. It just comes from somewhere deep inside, and it's just gutsy, and it's deep, and it's from a deep place because it comes. Usually, it's married to their experiences. So when I think about Appalachian music, that's what I think of.
What got you into Appalachian music?
My mom and her sister and my grandmother and all of her brothers and sisters. She had 9 brothers and sisters, my grandma did. And they all played an instrument, they all sang. And that's what they did to pass the time. They had a very hard life growing up. They grew up in a coal mining camp in eastern Kentucky called Drift, Kentucky. And my great grandpa died early. He was like in his early 30s. He was killed in a coal mining accident. And so her kids, she raised her kids by herself, my great-grandmother Nova. And so so one of the things that they did was they worked hard, and then at the end of the day, they would sit on the porch and tell stories, sing songs. And so music was just part of how they survived all that. And harmony singing harmony. But my great-grandpa was a preacher, and so it was a lot of gospel music, hymns, Christian music. Not so much a lot of the ballads that people sing back home, Appalachian ballads and stuff. I mean, they knew about those, and they did some bluegrass and things, but it was a lot of Christian music as well. So a lot of bluegrass, a lot of Christian music. And so that just kind of got passed down. My whole family does music. I was raised in a church that they were all my cousins, and they all did Appalachian bluegrass, gospel music. And as a young boy, that really impacted me. I would take my little recorder to church. Well, that was a tape recorder at the time. We didn't have fancy things. And I would record the singing, which was bluegrass music and the harmony singing, bluegrass gospel. And then I would take it home and I would just listen to it over and over again until I learned all the vocal parts and what the instruments were doing. And so it just really impacted me. It just was really impactful as a young kid to me. So that's kind of how it started, really, in church.
Right. And I'm sure you passed that down to Jesse.
Yeah. All my kids do music, and that was never anything that we really made them do. Jesse just naturally liked to sing. TJ, from the time he was in a high chair, we put him in front of the piano, and he just bang on the keys.
Okay.
He had drum lessons since he was 6. And David has always been able to sing really well, and had just started taking fiddle lessons not long ago. So we didn't make our kids do music, but we said that they had to do something. They could do sports, they could do music, but they couldn't just sit on their phones all day. So because they were homeschooled too. So we had to make sure that they got their stuff, and so they all had an interest in music. And so they got them all music lessons, but we've always sang together as a family. They've always been a part of a family gathering where all of my extended family all get together and sing during family reunions. And it's been passed down.
How does Appalachian music affect your day-to-day life?
Memory. I'll be driving down the road and having music on my phone, like coming through the speaker. and an old song will come up that just has a strong memory attached to it. You just relive that moment. Like, for example, maybe a song that was in the church one Sunday when I was going through something, or our family was going through something as a kid, and I saw my mom get up and sing a song that I knew she was really hurting. I knew that things were hard, but she sang this song about faith and about God's will in our lives and how God was our rescuer and God was going to help us. Now, and I just get transported back to that time when it was just so impactful. So I would say that one of the ways it affects me today is just memory. When I hear those songs and I think about those songs, there is so much memory and so much of our life from the past that's attached to it. It just brings it all back up again. Make me thankful for a very rich heritage we have. We have a very rich heritage as a family. And then today, and I still sing it today. I mean, I think my kids get frustrated because they really listen to contemporary Christian, or Jesse likes her show tunes from her musicals, and TJ likes all these bands I've never heard of, and David really couldn't care less. But I listen to these old gospel groups that I've listened to. The actual recordings from years ago, that I grew up with, you can access online now. So I listen to those all the time. My kids are like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, do we have to listen to that again?" And I'm like, "Yep, crank it up," because so I listen to it still today. So mainly, but it's mainly the memories that are attached to it that just keep me grounded.
You've been here in Berea for a long time. So how do you think Appalachian music, or would you say that Appalachian music has changed throughout your time being here?
What I find is young people today taking music that I knew, songs that I've heard, and doing them again. Maybe changing some things about maybe some harmonies that they did, or some of the chord progressions they used, maybe changing a little bit. Songs stay the same, but it does seem like that those songs take on a new life. For example, one of the groups I love, Mr. Isaacs. They are a bluegrass group. They do traditional songs, but they also take hymns and traditional type music, and they do it with, you'd think it's a brand new thing because the chords are different, the harmonies are different. It's not something you would sing up in the head of a holler, but it's music that you would hear up in the head of a holler, just sung with a little bit more, I don't want to say sophistication, but musically it is. There's a lot more intricate things musically that they do. And I think that's a direct result of the technology that is available. So I would say technology's probably changed that, communication has changed that a little bit. Some of the songs are still the same, but they're just performed a little. So maybe the performance practices are a little bit different. I don't know if that's probably the best way to say that, but I'd say that's probably a change.
Do you think that music and history are related?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that you can look at music, not just Appalachian music, but even classical music. You can look at how music was performed, how music was written, the chord structures that were used, progressions that were used, the way that they were resolved, the different tonalities and things, and you can tell what was happening in the world at that time based on the music. Even like art music, Baroque music was definitely a reflection of the time with all the ornamental trills and thrills and frills that they had on the music. It was very, very much the Baroque period, very ornate. Then you get to the 20th century where everything just gets all music, things just get deconstructed, I'm trying to say. And then, it just sounds totally different. It's just like everything's just weird. And it's just that passion to try to find something new, or can we do something different, totally different than what was happening in Baroque, but it's a reflection of the time. And so I would say that Appalachian music, bluegrass music, country music, all the folk music, all that music that's a reflection of the people. I think that as people change and as history changes, it reflects the history. I think that's where you get a lot of the Appalachian songs like that Gina Ritchie wrote, like the Illinois Don't Stop Here Anymore. That's a total reflection of the coal mining industry.
What would you say your favorite Appalachian song?
I really like the Illinois Don't Stop Here Anymore. But my family was a coal mining family, and so that was one of the first songs I remember hearing the new Coon Creek Girls sing at Murfreesboro Valley when I was working there when I was in graduate school, and it was just like it resonated with me because I know what that feels like, that feeling of just hopelessness and things changing. And and I know how that feels. And so that song just really resonated with me. I really like that song, even though it's a sad song. I would even say Laura Lynn's song that she wrote called Coal Miner's Daughter is another one that's really, even though I wouldn't call that, I mean, that was like commercial music. It was written for, to be released to the masses on recordings. It was a popular song. But it really tells the true story of what it was like as a coal mining family during the 30s and 40s and 50s. So I really like coal mining songs in that regard. Appalachian, like folksy type songs, Elena Don't Stop Her Anymore and Coal Miner's Daughter are probably the two that I always go back to.
Hi guys, well thanks for watching our video. First off, we want to say thank you to Warren May, Pastor Tim Lawson, and Cody Ham, who were part of our video, as you guys saw, and that we had an opportunity to interview. And what we wanted to do with this project and this video was kind of see how people here from Berea, what their opinion and their perspective and view on Appalachian music is, because we've learned about it in class, and personally I, like as an outsider, I'm learning about it kind of like from an outside perspective, trying to look in, but we wanted as a group to see what people who like live and like do a living from Appalachian music, what their thoughts and opinions were. So our group consists of Roberto Santos, David Reynosa, Aaron Crichton, Axel Quintera, and me, Marta Salinas. And so yeah, thanks for watching.